Hello y'all. Today we are going to be working on tomato trellising and getting it finished up and out of the way so when the season gets here it'll be ready to go. Look how weedy this is. Oh, I need to weed all of this. Alright, this row right here is where we're going to be putting up the fencing, and then the rest of the rows that we will be working on are at the top. I just wanted to show you something. I know in a video I already talked about this, but I found these tags from last year, and let's see, let's get you in the shade. That's still readable. I used my laser printer with waterproof labels to print up my tags, and this one's been laying here on the ground face down for who knows how long. Well, since last year. These have been outside through rain, snow, sleet, storms, and you can still read them. So this by far has been my favorite method, and I will continue to use it, and this right here is the reason. Can you guys on the camera see those? Those peonies we just planted? They're starting to leaf out. There's a good example. It's supposed to be warm over the next several days, so I'm going to bring all my greenhouse stuff, or at least most of my greenhouse stuff, out and put it out here in my yard. And here in I think 4, maybe 5 days I will have to take it back inside, but that's okay. That's what I like to do this time of year. I like to put them out whenever I have several days in a row that I don't need to bring them back in. And they've been in the greenhouse, so it's not the same as if I would have brought them from the inside and brought them out, because this greenhouse, it gets some pretty intense sun, and it also gets wind because I have the vents, and when the doors are open it gets a lot of wind. So it's not like they have no defenses against the weather. They are more hardy than if I just brought them in, or just brought them out here from the inside and just threw them to the wolves, so to speak. They're used to extreme temperature, used to a lot of sun. There's, not a lot of wood in that greenhouse to block any sun, and they're used to the wind, so they'll go out today, and then in a few days I'll bring them back in. As you can see, I've already got a few things. I've got the ground cherries out, and I've got the first little bit of tomatoes, and this is stuff that's just been hanging out here. That's celery, and I started it way too early. I've still got a few weeks before it can go out, and it's just getting big, and I'm not potting it up, so we'll see how that goes. The greenhouse is messy right now because I have bulbs that I brought out of storage, and I have pots that are filled, and a couple of jugs that I opened. That one was being eaten. I would say probably a slug or something got in there. It's some coreopsis, so I brought it in my greenhouse for more protection. This right here I'm going to be hardening off. It's some globe thistle. But the globe thistle in my yard is already 4, 6, 8 inches tall. So I'm sure that can be hardened off and can go out. And I'm going to bring my peppers. I'm going to bring anything that's, a relatively decent size. But look, I planted my nasturtium way too early too. And it can't go out until the celery goes out. The ones in these little cell trays are smaller. But the ones that I just mass sowed, they're huge, and they're definitely going out so they can get some strength to their stems. They do get wind blown on them. I've got some different sages I started from seed. That right there is all white sage that I potted up. These are the tomatoes that are going in my own garden. I've had spotty germination, but as you can see, every day I have new babies popping up. So those will probably honestly go out today too. I will probably put some of the stuff in the trays won't go out because the trays don't have holes and it is supposed to rain. But some of them are cracked and do have holes. So, like, that's what happened to this tray and this tray. I put them out and they just didn't have enough drainage, so they got a little bit waterlogged. I might sit them out today just to dry them out a bit, but they will have to go back in if it starts raining. So, if I take the trays out, they'll go in their own little special section. So, if it starts to rain like it's supposed to, I think tomorrow, I can bring them back in quickly. These guys are just starting. They're in their first few days of life. They haven't even been up a week. These are celosias, and those will go out too, because I like to put things out as soon as I can. I like to get them used to that strong sun and that wind as early as possible. So most of this stuff will be going out, and that's what I'll be working on. It'll probably take me a while to get it out, but they could all use some outside time in my opinion. I have this tray of nasturtium that's getting big, and I need to uppot them. The issue that I'm kind of having is I've only got a couple weeks before I have to set them out, but they're also getting to the point where they're drying, and they are suffering a little bit for not having room to grow. So I think I'm going to do a little cheat, so to speak, until I'm able to get them planted out. What I'm going to do is take this crate that I have here, and this paper. Do you hear that thunder? It might start to downpour at any time. I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to unroll it, and I'm going to line my crate with it, and then I'm going to fill it up with soil, and once we get that done, I'll be back to show you the rest. Okay, I have my paper in my crate, and it does overhang by a bit. I could cut this down to size, but I don't have a pair of scissors out here with me right now, so I will do that if I choose to once I'm done, a little while later once I'm done with the project, or I'll just leave it as it is and not worry about it. This paper is meant to hold the soil in. Now I've filled it with soil and it's pre-moistened. If you do not have any paper, you can use cotton, cloth, you can use cardboard, you can use newspaper. The goal is to just make it to where the dirt's not going to fall out the holes in the crate. It's raining outside, so I might just have to go get my nasturtium and bring them in here for this next step. I was going to take you outside and do it out there because it's kind of warm in this greenhouse. Okay, I do have separators in here, and each type is marked. These have been in here so long, this whole thing should be a carpet. At least that's what I'm hoping, so I can just peel them out. I'm going to set my camera up as best I can and try to show you what I mean. But I broke my tripod, so until I get a new one, just kind of working with what I got. So let's see if I can set this up in a way which you can see what I mean. See how this is a mat? I'm just going to pull up the whole thing and lay it on top of that crate. Here's the big massive nasturtium. I'm literally just laying it on top of my crate. I'm going to have to push the sides down a little bit, but that's fine. I want it to make contact with the soil. It's already fine on the sides. It's just the length. So I'm just going to kind of push those down a little bit. Alright. And that's pretty much it. That's my lazy way of uppotting my nasturtium. Alright, y'all. I appreciate it so much when y'all hang out with me. I will see you next time. Bye.